Let's talk about understanding your stakeholders because you have a lot of employees at your company. And at the end of this lesson, you'll understand why maybe sometimes you tried to launch something or get people to take action on something and they wouldn't do it. And you'll have a whole new approach to getting people to do what you want them to do. Okay? Here we go. First, we're going to start with a little story on how I got my kids to start brushing their teeth. So if you have kids, you know this all too well. If you don't, maybe you remember from when you were a little kid. When my kids were little, at bedtime, I would say, "Hey, go brush your teeth. It's time." And they'd go, "Ah, no." They would run and hide under beds. It was a whole drama. It was like, "I can't, it's too hard. Do it for me." And it was chaos and anarchy for several years before I realized through a book I was reading called How to Speak So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Speak. Highly recommend that read because everything in it applies to the workplace too. But it said, you got to talk about what's in it for them. So I switched my approach into talking about what's in it for me, which was brush your teeth so we can go to bed because mommy's exhausted, to, hey, you got to brush your teeth because, buddy, I don't want you to get cavities because if you get a cavity, we're going to go to the dentist. I'm going to pull you out of school. You're going to get a shot in your mouth. They're going to numb everything, sort of, if you're lucky. And then they're going to drill a big hole in your tooth. Then they're going to fill it with this yucky stuff. And your mouth is going to be numb for the rest of the day. All I needed to do was tell them what's in it for them. Hey, I don't want that to happen to you. Go brush your teeth. We got to get the sugar bugs out of your mouth and make sure you don't get cavities. And magically overnight, brushing my teeth to my two kids became a competition and no longer a battle of the egos where I would lose and be sitting there brushing my kids' teeth, just trying to get them to go to bed. And it's the same in the workplace. You can't tell people just what's in it for you, but you also can't speak to everyone in the same way. What works with your employees isn't going to work with managers or executives. So we're going to talk about who all your different buckets of employees are so that you can get clear on like how to get through to them. You have three main categories. You've got your executives, your managers, and your regular employees, whether they're frontline workers or your knowledge workers. And yes, I know there's many levels in between, like your directors, your VPs, but I'm sure you can consolidate everyone into these three easy buckets, okay? Think of your managers as people who have direct reports. Sometimes people have the title manager, but they don't manage people. So what I mean here is like your big bosses, your C-suite, your VPs, then you got your managers, like your director, manager, people with direct reports, and then you have your regular employees, the revenue drivers, the people doing the actual work, talking to your customers, working in the back house, in the warehouse. It's your support team, your customer success team, your marketing team, your sales team. You understand. So when you're talking to executives, you need to understand what they care about is growth, revenue, and strategy. So you have to implement or like use certain words when you're talking to them. So let's say you need to send out a company survey. When you're talking to the executives about what you're doing, I've highlighted in blue the key words that you would use to get them to hear you and understand and be like, oh yeah, okay, sounds good. You would say, this survey will give us insights into what's getting in the way of employee performance. If we can pinpoint specific barriers, we'll improve productivity, reduce turnover, and set the foundation for the long-term scalable success of the business. They love to hear that, all while positively impacting revenue. Use the word revenue correctly in a sentence and your executives will be like, what? What did you just say? Since when are you thinking about revenue? They're going to love it because that's a very lonely, scary game to be held accountable to, like, is the business profitable? Is it making money? Is it growing? So this is what you would say to executives. If you say this to an employee, they're going to be like, all you really care about is money and like making sure you don't quit. Like, I knew it. Okay. So this is how you get through to executives. And that's not true that that's all you care about. You are painting a certain picture to everybody. Okay. Let's talk about your managers. They care about team performance, morale, and efficiency. If you were trying to get them on board to sending a survey, which you should remember, managers are an extension of you. So they spend a lot more time with the employees and they can remind employees to take your surveys. You would say, this survey will help you identify where your teams are struggling and what they need to operate at their full potential. It'll uncover opportunities for targeted support improve team efficiency. My phone is talking to me. Hey, Siri, stop it. I'm giving a lesson. And help you lead more effectively. They love to look good. Position it to where it's like, we probably haven't done right by you. We need to make sure that we know how we can better support you, manager. By removing barriers to performance, we drive productivity, reduce burnout, and you get a more high-functioning team. Like, is that a complete sentence? Reduce burnout for a more high-functioning team. You want to paint to them paradise of like, you are probably not equipped and it's our fault. And we want to make sure that like your team is operating at max potential, because I guarantee you that they're not. And the manager doesn't want to be found out for that and blamed for it. So you also wouldn't really say this to like executives or employees, because this is still about like, go, go, go. We got to do more stuff fast. The other two categories don't care about that, but managers do. Now let's talk about your employees. What they care about is their immediate everyday work experience. Like, what's in it for me? Okay. I'm already giving my soul and my most precious resource, which is my time. Precious resource. So like, why do you want me to take a survey? Well, we're sending this survey to understand what's getting in the way of you doing your best work. This is a chance to tell us what tools, processes, or communication changes would make your day-to-day easier. This puts all the ownership on the company. This is like, we acknowledge that like, it's probably not perfect working here, because it's not perfect working anywhere. And we want to take full ownership of that and learn how we can do better by you. Employees want to hear like that they're going to get a chance to give some spicy feedback. They have been dying. They have been waiting to tell you what's up, what's really going on in the trenches of the day-to-day life at your company. Okay? So this isn't what an executive wants to hear. They're going to be like, oh, you're too empathetic. Like, those employees are lazy, unproductive, quiet quitting individuals. It's like, no. Do you see how you met everyone's needs and you're talking about the same thing, but you're saying it at different levels in different ways based on what they care about? Here are some other daily examples to get you thinking about moments where you can stop. And so long as you're not addressing the whole company, which sometimes you are, and there's a way to do this that scratches everybody's little itch. You combine all of this a little bit, but these are examples where if you're in a meeting or you need to get buy-in, or you're, talking in an email to employees, this is how you would talk to them. Let's say you're promoting some kind of wellness initiative, like a gym reimbursement program. To your executives, you would say, this reduces absenteeism and increases productivity. To your managers, you would say, this keeps your teams engaged and energized. To employees, you say, we care about your well-being and we want to make sure you have support. That's 3 different ways of saying, we are doing this and you're going to buy into it because I just told you how it benefits you. Here's another example. Introducing some kind of a training program. To your executives, you're like, hey, this upskills our employees and it improves performance and retention. Sound good? To your managers, this equips your team to take on new challenges more effectively. And to employees, you would say, this helps you grow your career and gain confidence. If you were to tell employees, hey, we need to improve your performance, so here's a training program, they're going to be like, really, jerk? I'm working really hard over here. So there are many ways to approach like how you're explaining something and to whom, and making sure it lands in a way that they're like, oh, you said exactly what I care about. Thank you for making this super simple for me to understand. Here's a quick screenshot of a way for you to remember what everyone cares about. If I were to read this to you, that would be really cruel. So I will hyperlink to this in the notes section, but you might want to take a screenshot for yourself and just keep this around your desk. You will, over time, just know this, and you won't even need a cheat sheet. You would laugh at a cheat sheet. You're going to get really, really good at paying attention to who's listening. Who is this for? What's in it for them? Why do they care? How do I position this in a way that they're going to pay attention? But for now, you might benefit from just printing this out or putting it somewhere on your desktop so that you have like a quick reference and insert little teeny tiny buzzwords here and there. Here are some last tips for success, okay? Build real relationships and get to know your executives and what they care about. So what I mean by that is like hold one-on-ones with your executives. You need to hear in their own words them say revenue, or they're going to have their own little buzzwordy language, and you need to pick up on that and figure out what it means by directly asking them what that is, why it drives the business forward, and be curious in your approach to like really get in their world so that you have a super dialed in library of words to use when you're trying to get them to hear you. You really want to keep your communications clear. A lot of my HR leaders in the past would use jargon. Don't do that. We don't live in your world. We don't know your acronyms. So speak to the level of a fifth grader. You can explain everything very plainly and practically, I promise. And if you're not getting through to someone and you're just like playing some weird game of tug and war, like do what I'm telling you to do, why is nobody taking this survey? Why is nobody listening to me? Why is this person resisting me, this leader? Ask yourself, am I talking about what's in it for me or what's in it for them? Make sure you've got the priorities straight. The biggest takeaway for this lesson is that you can't speak to everyone the same way or they won't hear you and they won't take you seriously. And my question for you is, who have you struggled to get through to lately? And how are you going to adjust your language? Okay, I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye.